Okay, now we are going to go over where to find important course information. The learning target for this section is I will know where to find important course information. All important course information will be found within the course announcements. This is your screen when you log in, you click on your course, you'll see in that bottom right-hand corner, there's important course information. You can click on this little gray arrow to shrink this menu up and down to give you more space to view. You may also need to click on the View button down here to view the message entirely. A scroll bar can also appear when you're in this area, so make sure you scroll down and find everything that is there. You will find in the course announcements a link to the course syllabus. The course syllabus also contains links to all the project rubrics and lots of good detailed info about this course. You may need to scroll down in order to find it. Here's an example of a course announcement you may see with a link to the course syllabus, a link to the pacing calendar, and other information about synchronous or asynchronous sessions. Here's an example of what a pacing calendar may look like. It will be a calendar with the lessons you should do and the projects due when throughout each day of the entire course. Be sure to check your messages. Teachers are trying to get in touch with you and give you important course information that you need to know in order to be successful and do better in the course. So when you are logged in, you can see over here you have the message center, or up on the top you see this little envelope with a number there with however many unread messages you have. Please be sure to click on those. Notice my note right here. We can see when you don't read your messages. We can tell when you're not reading anything. Please read your messages. They contain important information for you. Another thing to be aware of is you do have access to tutoring 24/7 from Thinking Storm. This may not apply necessarily to Spanish, but you do have it for many courses such as English, math, science, so utilize this help as much as possible. You click on that question mark up at the top and scroll down and you have instant access to tutoring. Let's take a moment and look at the grade weighting for this course so you know where it is important to spend your time and what are the most important assignments. So notice first off this big chunk right here, 30%. 30% of your grade is going to come from projects. You'll have projects due throughout the course. This is the most important assignment throughout the entire course. If you skip projects, your grade will drop significantly. Please make sure you do them completely and follow the requirements. If needed, always ask me for help. The next big chunks you notice are 15, 15, 15, almost another half. Almost half of the course comes from these three items. Your discussion board posts, your final exam, and completing these synchronous or asynchronous sessions. So make sure you do all of those. Huge part of your grade to do those. Let's talk about asynchronous sessions for a moment. Make sure you complete 6 by the end of the course. You'll find all of them in the course announcements. Make sure you look there for the asynchronous activities. That is where you will access them. The next important thing is to do 2 lessons a day and make sure you study vocabulary. This is a really fast course, so you need to make sure you're staying on track, if anything, getting ahead and doing those 2 lessons a day, Monday through Friday. You should be studying vocabulary for at least 20 minutes a day or more. At least 20 minutes a day. We're going to talk about that more in depth, why that is so important. You can find a link for that course vocabulary in the course announcements. Okay, vocabulario. Make sure you study the vocabulary daily. Your brain needs repetition. This is so important. This is how your brain is going to learn. If you just hear it one time or glance at it, you're not going to remember it at all. If we were in a brick and mortar classroom, every single day at the beginning of class, we would be going over all of the vocabulary. You'll remember it so much more if you go over it and over it and over it. And there's vocabulary in every lesson. Go over it frequently. Glancing at it won't work. Spanish will make so much more sense if you study the vocabulary. At this level of Spanish, the number one thing you need to learn is vocabulary. You'll start to learn grammar as the course goes on, and as you get into higher level Spanish classes, you're going to learn more and more grammar. But most important in Spanish 1 is the vocabulary. If you don't study that, you're not going to know what's going on. It's not going to feel like it makes sense to you, and you're going to want to easily use a translator instead of doing the work. Your brain should be the translator, your brain. So you need to input all of that vocabulary into your brain. So you need to do that by studying it, going over it every single day. When I study vocabulary, I go over it in Spanish, I go over it in English, I say it back and forth, I make sure I know the English to Spanish translation and the Spanish to English translation. You can do it. Remember, believe in yourself. You can do hard things. Let's talk a moment about projects. Most of the projects will have two parts. There's a written portion and then an audio portion. Sometimes you may run into trouble with recording. If that happens, you have two options. You can send it to me in an email, or you can use Vocaroo.com. Vocaroo.com is the best option. It's super easy. So you'll just go to Vocaroo.com. You'll literally see this exact screen. No login, nothing required. You instantly can record. It just takes a second. So you'll click to record, then you'll record whatever audio portion that you would have turned in for your project. Then it says, do you want to listen to it? Or if you're happy with it, click here to save. Then it gives you this link right here. This link is the one that you're going to copy and paste into your project. Copy and paste that into your project, and then I will be able to grade your recording from listening to Vocaroo.com. Please don't email it to me like how it says here, because this actually sends me a zillion emails, like one every single day at least. So please just copy and paste that link and send that to me in the project or in a message, however you need to. In the project is the first choice. If not, then send it to me in a message. Okay, project 1, unit 1, and this will actually take you through unit 1, unit 2, and unit 3. Write a dialogue between you and someone else. Follow all of the necessary requirements given in lessons 1 through 15. You'll read the dialogue for the audio portion. So you're going to be creating a dialogue. You have complete choice in how you want to create that. It's fine. I'm only looking for all of that Spanish grammar and vocabulary that it requires you to include. Okay, make sure you do not use a translator. I want to see what you can do. I don't care what a translator can do. I want to know what Spanish you know. And it's okay to make mistakes. I understand you're in a very first level Spanish class. This might be your first time ever taking Spanish. That's okay. I still want to see what you can do. All of your vocabulary and grammar should be found within the course. Do not use more advanced grammar or vocabulary, which is often which is often given from a translator. So make sure you are doing the work yourself. Please complete the questions for this activity now.